Awesome. Right, are we ready to get cracking?
Ready to go.
Yeah. Oh, wait. I mean, if we're going to go right now, give me 2 seconds then.
Hello and welcome to Grumpy Gamers. You're here with me, Pete, and along with me this week.
Fucking hell, you almost did it again.
I know.
Heard that for 3 weeks from Kirk. Jesus.
Anyway.
Oh, I thought you were just buying into it. I thought you were just playing into what Kirk says.
I mean, sometimes I do, and then this time I tried very hard not to and almost fucked it up anyway. So.
No, you did fuck it up.
You did.
Yeah, fair.
You did.
Fair. I didn't actually get through the sentence. I just sort of garbled instead. But, it's a different form of fuck up to the one I feared. Anyway, that's not the point. The point is, as you can hear, 3 of us are here. No Kirk.
No Kirk. No.
Double
Kirk.
woo.
Yes, it is a net positive for us all, but also no excuse whatsoever.
He's reeling from last week, isn't he? He spoke way too much last week.
Honestly, seriously, like, listening to last week's episode was a fucking delight. And I even, like, Kirk, you can tell when Kirk does his research. And Kirk, I know you're listening, so let me tell you, I'm very happy that you do the research when you know you need to, because you knew it was just you two. But maybe don't speak so much because it's so glaringly obvious that every other week you don't do any fucking research.
Yes.
That's my only note. That's
it.
It's so true. It is true. It's true.
Yeah. It's just so overt, isn't it? When he actually has to do some prep.
Honestly, you know what sparked it is Kirk actually made a good point, and I went, oh, wow, Kirk actually made a good point. And then I went, I remember 6 months ago I had this thought where Kirk made a good point, and that was the last time I wasn't on. So, yeah.
6 months.
Yeah,
6 months later,
Kirk doesn't make many good points. So.
That's how much they stand out. That after 6 months, it's still big in your mind. Yeah, every word since from Kirk forgettable, but those two, there you go.
Kirk in general is forgettable. So.
Yeah.
I love ripping him when he can't rip me because whenever I'm not on, like the past 2 weeks. God, does he give me a ripping? So fuck you, Kirk.
He gets very cocky, doesn't he? Yes.
Oh, he does. He is cocky. That's the word to describe Kirk, isn't he? Cocky.
He's got the platform without the risk. He gets.
He's got a swag around him when no one's there.
Yeah, that's it. Oh, if he was the last man on Earth, can you imagine the ego size? Anyway, we should probably get into the quick news, shouldn't we?
Yes, we got a lot of content today.
We got a lot.
Yeah, we do have a hot episode, right? Okay. Firstly, Cyberpunk is going to release a 2.01 patch very soon. So one of the main things it fixes is potential save corruption on the PS5 version. Mm-hmm. Which is a pretty big deal, pretty game breaking. So their advice is to keep a manual working save there, just in case it happens to you, but the patch should be live very soon, so just for fellow PlayStation 5 players, just to keep in mind. Next up, The Elder Scrolls Castles has been released on Google Play on Androids. It's a Fallout Shelter style Elder Scrolls game, so that could be one for you too.
I mean, I probably will actually check that out. I really liked Fallout Shelter. So
yeah, I thought you both did, didn't you?
I absolutely love Fallout Shelter. I've got it on PC and my phone. But yeah, I looked on the App Store today for this and I couldn't see anything, so I was very upset.
Oh, you couldn't see it?
Not on
Apple.
Apple. Yeah.
Oh, it's not on iPhone. Yeah, I think it's just on
Android.
I know. I was hoping maybe it had already been released or something, but yeah, sad.
That's a shame. Okay. Spider-Man 2 will support PS5's Access controller for accessibility, which is pretty good to see. I've always had a fear that, like, what if something happened? Like, we love video games, and if something happened, you couldn't play them. Then, something like having access to like these controllers, which give you the ability to do so, is pretty good. So I'm glad to see that Sony is supporting that on one of their biggest releases of the year. That's pretty good. Xbox game captures will now be deleted after 90 days following an update.
I don't know.
So for those of you who capture stuff on your consoles, they'll be deleted.
You know what? I'm actually going to ask this question. Do you reckon that includes the videos? Because I know the captures technically are just a screenshot.
I reckon so.
Yeah.
I reckon so because
that's a shame. Because I'll tell you what, and this is probably quite sad. I record a good Rocket League goal or Rocket League save, and probably every 3 months after a couple of beers, I just go through and I view them all. And there's normally 40 or 50 just to look through.
That's interesting because I thought to myself when I saw this, I went, people that take game captures, and loads of people do it, like photo mode and all that kind of stuff. Who the fuck are they showing that to? I was like, would you?
Well, that's the sad thing, Ben.
What'd you do?
I even took a video during Starfield the other day, and it was basically I was looking for this guy for fucking 5 minutes, couldn't find him, and then I turned around, absolutely shit myself, and I was like, I'll send it to the boys. But then you go, no, they don't want to see that, so it's just sitting there in my videos, just wasting away.
I like that you second guess yourself instead of sending us a meme moment as well. That's fantastic.
It's also too much effort. I know Kirk will find a way to do it in 2 clicks, but I'm like, oh, do I have to export this and do I have to? Nah, just fuck it. The lads won't even appreciate it.
You know, the response will be, "Am I on fucking Reddit or what?"
Yes, it'll be, "Oh, why the fuck are you spamming me?" Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
This isn't Reddit. Fuck off, you square. Yeah. Absolutely. Right. Ghostwire Tokyo is available for free through Amazon Prime Gaming in October. I thought it was a fantastic game. I absolutely loved it. Most people didn't give it a look, which is a shame. I think it's one of the best atmospheric kind of depictions of a city that I've ever seen in a video game. But yeah, really, really good. And it's free on Amazon Prime. So go and get it. Creative Assembly have cancelled their new game in development called Hyenas. And that may result in job losses. I think Pete, you brought that to attention in our WhatsApp group or something.
I did, yeah. It's it's a bit of a strange little one, this, because the entire Creative Assembly fan base has been going, why the hell are you making Hyenas anyway? For 100 million. Why are you spending that and not doing the Total War games? And now they've cancelled it. It's not a good look, particularly after those price hikes on 3
DLCs.
Yeah, so something seriously bad is going on at CA, at least in terms of how they've sorted their finance. And it was close to release Hyenas. This was almost.
I was just about to say it was quite far through development, right? So
it was very much meant to be. Yeah.
What sparks this then? And I did check out pictures of the game or the art when looking at this, and it didn't look like anything like they'd be involved in to begin with. But still, they've got a fan base there. Like, people who like Creative Assembly will go, okay, I might give that a try.
This is it. I really don't think there were that many who would, though. Because Total War is not at all similar to this. And everyone was going, why are you jumping into looter shooters when there's a billion of them and they're not our thing? Who knows? I think it's linked to Sega as well, obviously, having control over CA. Probably directives from Sega have pushed it this way, but it does not look good at all.
I just want people to stick to their lanes. That's what I want developers to do. I just want them to, do what they do best. If they want to create different games, I don't know, open a little different branch to stick to your games, guys. Stick to your games.
But that type of mentality doesn't exactly breed
creativity
and
new things. Ben, if you're known for producing Blood Bowl and cycling, stick to Blood Bowl.
Exactly.
Yes,
if you've
got your very well
defined,
when you can meld those two together, and that's fantastic.
You've got a well-defined niche. Stick to that.
Love it.
Absolutely. It's mad.
Okay, good stuff. And guess what? The FTC, they're back, baby. They've resumed their case against Microsoft and the Activision deal. I don't think it stops it closing. I could be wrong, but I think it's the 17th of October. That's when it'll complete. But they say it's in the public interest for them to continue.
Right.
Yeah, okay, cool. Whatever. Red Dead Redemption 2 is looking like it's coming to the Nintendo Switch. So recently Red Dead Redemption 1 came to the Switch, but a rating was spotted for the second game in Brazil.
Okay.
Just on the beach.
Very good.
I assume. Something like that.
Very good, yes.
And lastly, Counter-Strike 2 is now out, so it fully replaces the OG Counter-Strike. Valve has rolled out the update, and of course it's still free to play. but one of the most popular games ever in the world, still played. It's the most played game today, isn't it?
I think it's very close, if not. Yeah.
Yeah, but Counter-Strike 2 is out.
Okay.
Exciting.
I did see an awful lot of posts about retiring CS, so this makes a lot of sense. But I actually completely missed that. Never mind.
Okay.
I should check this out properly. Yeah.
Never mind. Let's get into more important news. I've got some layoffs, unfortunately, chaps. Talking about layoffs, it's not been good. It's not been a good year for gaming. I'll get to that. This time it's Epic Games, one of the biggies. In an all-staff email, Epic CEO Tim Sweeney wrote, for a while now, we've been spending way more money than we earn, investing in the next evolution of Epic and growing Fortnite as a metaverse-inspired ecosystem for creators. I had long been optimistic that we could power through this transition without layoffs, but in retrospect, I see that this is unrealistic. While Fortnite is starting to grow again, the growth is driven primarily by creator content with significant revenue sharing, and this is a lower margin business that we had when Fortnite Battle Royale took off and began funding our expansion. Success with the creator ecosystem is a great achievement, but it means a major structural change to our economics. They thought there was around 900, but then Epic the other day released that there was around 830 employees that have been made redundant. That's about 16% of their workforce. So quite a large bloody proportion. Epic does insist that there's going to be no more layoffs beyond the 830, saying that these changes financially stabilise the business. All workers will get redundancy packages with like 6 months base pay and 6 months healthcare in US, Canada and Brazil, so at least they're getting something. Just to sum it up, I found this little nugget. Gaming companies that have had layoffs since the start of this year, 2023. Microsoft, Take-Two, Riot Games, EA, Twitch, Meta, Unity, Ubisoft, CD Projekt, Roblox, and Bracer Group, Amazon, and now Sega. Whew. There you go, boys. That's a nice bring me downer.
Yeah, I mean, Unity you'd think deserve it, but
Whoa, okay. Jesus. Well, CD Projekt do after the state of fucking their shitty game, so yeah.
Pipe down.
Honestly, listening to you three 2 weeks ago fucking sucking the dick of Cyberpunk for fucking half an hour, I was screaming into the void, I tell you.
Look, there is going to be a lot more dick sucking later on, so you just look forward to that.
You know what? I cringed when I said that, and I went, I shouldn't have said that. But then you just come back.
Down.
You doubled down. Thank you.
Double down. Double down. I made
doing
it acceptable, Eddie.
I was at one point looking forward to weighing in on Cyberpunk again, but I know too many cocks situation, surely, at this point.
Too many penises around.
Too many cocks situation.
Oh,
anyway, back to the story. Back to the story at
yeah,
hand.
come on. We need to be somber here, boys.
Look, I think it's obviously terrible for the Epic Games staff, but it seems to be a changing thing in the industry now that games companies seem to be going on waves of success and not failure, but a downward period and then up and then down, and it seems like no job within gaming seems to be safe, and it seems to be a place where your career is somewhere that moves everywhere and has to go in different places. The only issue is that with so many people being laid off, people just won't be able to find new jobs, will they? Because these other companies aren't hiring, presumably. If it would appear that there's been just a depression in overall staff in the industry.
Well, you could put it down to, I think Donnie made this point a few months back, that we saw such an explosion in gaming after COVID, well, during COVID and slightly after COVID.
Yeah.
That Donnie did make the point that maybe this is just, it's stabilising again and just going back to maybe not normal, maybe a bit better than normal, but still, it's got to come down from that huge peaks we saw during COVID and just after.
Yes,
I think that is a great point. I mean, gaming's obviously grown. I don't know what's happening in terms of the industry, like 6 month to 6 month now. Is it growing massively now? I don't know. So, but yeah, it's certainly a good point.
Yeah.
It is. I do just want to revisit, Eddie, you making a point that it had been a bad year for gaming. I think that's an interesting concept.
Yeah, because the games, I would say, it's been the best in about
really
5
good.
years. Yeah. Selfishly, it's been a great year.
That is the craziest thing of all, isn't it? Like, look at all the banging games that are coming out, and the AAAs after AAAs now in this season right now, and we're talking about, you know, everybody laying people off, games being cancelled, things happening, and you just...
Well, I guess that could be
crazy.
an argument for this anyway, couldn't it? It could be a lot of these games developers have released their big game, and now they've gone, we don't need this many staff.
Exactly. I was going to say this. When you finish a big ticket, quite a few people often are done, aren't they?
You've said that before, Pete. You've said that a number of times. And I think it... I mean, I don't want to put this stuff down because this is obviously happening, but... I would be interested to know how it compares with these other companies in just the general ebbs and flows in previous years. Like, did this happen previously? Like, people get taken on, would be let go, or what have you? Like, I suppose I don't know how many contracting staff, how many are full-time employed staff, and all this kind of stuff. So, but not good stuff.
No, at least on surface level, not good. In other not good news, there's yet more trouble for the KOTOR remake. Which is sad to me and I think Ben. Eddie, I don't know if you'd even care.
No.
Okay, good. Glad I asked. Okay, great. So Sony has attempted to clarify its recent removal of social media posts related to the Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic remake. This week, fans noticed that the tweet from the primary PlayStation Twitter account announcing the game in 2021 had been deleted, while the title's reveal trailer had also been made private. This, combined with press reports of the title's allegedly troubled development, led to speculation that the game could be the latest casualty of restructuring efforts at Aspire's parent company, Embracer. Oh, yeah, Embracer. Good times. Now, Sony has issued a statement in response to the removal of social media posts related to this, claiming it was due to music licenses expiring. And the statement literally is that. I've got the quote here, but it is, as part of normal business, we delist assets when licensed music expires. Great. Good stuff. Really, really useful. That said, it was noted by journalist Stephen Totillo that it's not clear why music would expire, especially because the music featured in the trailer was from the Star Wars movies and is not licensed externally. Seems like a glaring hole in the alibi, really. But
yeah, it does, yeah.
Yeah, there we are. A search of PlayStation's YouTube account showed that many Star Wars game trailers, at least as far back as 10 years ago, are all still publicly listed as well. So it's a bit weird, and I don't really think we've got the correct answer there, but it just adds to the growing list of problems, doesn't it?
Yeah. Oh, it almost certainly does. I mean, there was rumours about it going to Saber Interactive, and that they showed a vertical slice of the game like a year ago, and to whoever was being shown it, whatever, whoever's holding the purse strings, and they either because they thought it was going to cost too much, or they just thought it was a load of shite. They what was it? Two of the lead directors or whatever got sacked like the next day.
Yes.
That could have been because they just thought this is going to cost way too much money, or it's not what we asked for, or whatever. But the rumors on this game were great in terms of this potentially changing this to more of an action RPG kind of orientation, a reimagining of the whole thing. Like, my God, KOTOR was the game that it's my first game on Xbox, and it was the best game on Xbox. It was
incredibly popular.
Oh God, yeah,
incredibly popular. Did really well for very good reason.
It was it was almost revolutionary at the time. It was the first time that type of game had been delivered on such a scale with such an IP, and it was the forerunner to the Mass Effect games and everything that came after. So
it really put BioWare on the map, didn't it, as a whole?
Absolutely, yeah. It was phenomenal. So I'd be really disappointed if this doesn't. We Kirk and I were only talking about this last week, so it's really disappointed that if this doesn't come to fruition, but it's looking like it's in trouble.
It really does, doesn't it? Yeah. We can but hope, anyway, that it's not completely dead. But
Right.
yeah.
Just to pick you up from that, I actually saw an advert this week. End Zone World Apart, that game that I reviewed about a month or two ago. They've got a little Kickstarter and it's doing really well. So it looks like they're going to make a second one that's going to be, I think they said, out at the first quarter of next year. So.
Oh wow, that's fast.
Yeah, pretty cool. Wow. There you go. Just to pick you up from that sad one.
Okay, that's a nice little snippet of news just coming in there. Right, okay. Well, big news this week. Jim Ryan, the head of Sony, the head of PlayStation, is leaving Sony. So yeah, Jim Ryan's going. Sony have announced that Jim Ryan is retiring next March. This is after he took over heading up PlayStation 2019. Hiroki Totoki is helping with that transition from October this year. There's loads of job switches, which I tried to care about, but I don't really care. Everyone's got different fucking titles now, whatever. The crux is Jim Ryan is leaving. Hiroki Totoki is taking over as the interim CEO of Sony Interactive Entertainment in April. So Jim Ryan said that one of the reasons was that living in Europe and working in North America, I think that was the combination, was a factor for him. And I was just looking up before this on a side note. Hiroki Totoki is a fucking hero. Like he's the Sony Corporation president. He's the COO. He's a CFO.
Like, oh wow! We have had his name a fair few times.
Oh yeah, we have. Like he kicks about, but my god, does this man seem like a fucking boss? Like that's crazy. But anyway, so he's looks like he's taking over or something in an interim basis. The internet has been pretty mixed over whether this is good or bad, because Jim Ryan was never really seen as a gamer, and he was never really seen as connecting with the fan base, I don't think. There's no doubt that as a businessman, he seemed to be excellent, because PlayStation have gone from fucking strength to strength, haven't they? Like, they are absolutely dominant, and over his kind of reign, that they've been supreme beyond measure. And the decisions he's made now, like around live service games and things like that, they're going to be felt within PlayStation for years to come. But retrospectively looking at him leaving, it probably makes sense. If he was looking to retire and not see out the PlayStation 6, it's probably a good idea to get somebody in at the helm to help during that design phase of the PlayStation 6 prior to it launching. They did make a big deal about the PlayStation 5 launch being a big seminal part of his career, especially during COVID. So that was a big issue. But I don't think this is as big a deal for the gaming landscape as if Phil Spencer left Xbox. I think that Phil Spencer's probably a little bit more relatable to gamers, gets a little bit more involved on that side. He's like, Jim Ryan was obviously the head of PlayStation, but he wasn't the face of PlayStation. Whereas I do think Phil Spencer is probably the face. And if they got rid of Phil Spencer, then that would be a signal that the Xbox is down and out, I think. But yeah, what do you think?
I personally am quite happy about it, to be honest with you.
You're happy
not a fan.
I'm happy that he's gone. I see PlayStation as the villains. Like, everything I ever hear that come out of PlayStation's mouth is money, 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 money. So I personally just like a change. I would like PlayStation to actually have more of a I don't know.
I like that.
And this is why I actually kind of commended him. I think what he's done is absolutely fucking superb. I think he's obviously amazing at the job that he's doing. I don't think anyone can go against that. However, I'm a gamer. I want games companies to be run for the gamers, and I don't feel PlayStation are anywhere near that.
Eddie.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I think that's a good point.
I just want to halt him for 1 second to say that a takeover by the COO/CFO
doesn't it? Yeah,
a move in the gaming direction.
This is the most corpo person.
Oh yeah, that's a good point.
He's only interim. I think.
His finance and operations. He is not a dev.
He's going to be thinking of the gamers.
Yeah, I mean, I think, Eddie, you make a cracking point around the period that has been overseen recently anyway. Sony have not come across fantastic from a respecting a cost of living situation standpoint, I don't think.
Yep. And hey, I can say that because I'm not a PlayStation owner, so I want the change. You never know. If I think things change around, then next console will probably be a PlayStation. I'm saying probably because obviously Xbox, I feel that have been down recently. So
okay, yeah, interesting situation. Yeah, let's see what happens. I mean, change is a wonderful thing, but it can always get worse.
But that's why I'm saying this, Pete, is because it can't for me. I'm not a PlayStation owner. So I don't give a fuck. If they want to go even mental and go, oh, by the way, we're now charging $90 for our games. All right, go fuck yourselves.
Well, there is going to be a serious pivot at some point. Like with the advent of proper streaming and other avenues coming into kind of fruition, I think there will be pivots to happen over the next 5 to 10 years. So having somebody who's in there for that fight probably is a big thing. Jim Ryan's done his 30 years at PlayStation and got to this stage now, and he's going out on top. So fair play to the kid.
I imagine his retirement package is pretty healthy. That'll be that won't be bad.
I reckon he smashed it. So there you go.
Yes. Wonderful. I think that leads us to new releases then, doesn't it?
Yeah,
good to have you back for this.
With a big pause there. I like that.
Yeah.
It was a big pause.
I wondered if you were just gonna take us on, Eddie.
Just roll on. Just take. But then, Pete, you got to ask the question: what do you do for this podcast then? If you don't move us on,
I ask that question every week. Trust me.
By the way, you didn't even put the fucking blurbs in this week.
Nope.
I had to do it myself.
Eddie, right? 2 things I noticed when prepping this podcast. I went, oh, Pete's not put the blurbs in for you, and Pete took the shitty fucking KOTOR story on the main news and left me with fucking Jim Ryan when I'd done everything else. Cheeky bastard.
Hey, I left that for Kirk. It's not my fault Kirk wasn't here. That's the situation.
I was thinking I'm just going to replace it and just put it under his name. But I thought he's not going to fucking
I would have done zero prep. Yes.
Yeah, he would have done zero prep and then just fucking worn it, and it'd be like, oh, for fuck's sake.
That sounds about right.
I had very little time, sorry lads. It's how it goes sometimes.
Lovely. I even give you 15 minutes more because I was definitely not ready on time because there's so many new releases.
I did you a favour and I culled somebody in that time.
No, there's not so many new releases. That's not the reason. The reason is that you do it 5 minutes before.
I started this and I'll be honest, I think it was actually 4:45. Now, normally it's 4:00, but it's my last day of work before 9 days off. Oh, by the way, lads, I won't be on the podcast next week. I'm in Greece. So it was one of those, everyone starts fucking messaging me, panicking. So, yeah, granted, I only, had an hour and a half this time, 2 hours.
It's wonderful that the other 6 days that are available are not even considered.
They're not even considered as options. That's not an option. His section does not change.
I was drunk all weekend. And when I know what you're thinking, Eddie, you obviously mean just Saturday night. No, the golf was on. I was in a pub all Saturday, all up until about 4 a.m, then straight 11 a.m. back in the thing. I could not have done prep then. You wouldn't have liked to seen the prep then.
No, that is true.
Actually, I kind of would, but I'm self-destructive
You know what?
by nature.
Next time, I'll do it when I'm smashed, and we'll really see how fucking good these new releases are.
I did my prep watching the golf, so.
Oh, lovely.
Whatever.
All right, so when I invited you out to come to the pub,
I just didn't respond.
He had prep to do.
I'm too busy, prepping. There you go.
I'm too busy doing what you should be doing.
Some of us are more committed than others, clearly. Right, the first one, The Fabulous Fear Machine, coming out on PC October 4th. The Fabulous Fear Machine is a narrative-driven strategy game with a pulp horror style. As the machine's new master, you must sow fear and expand your influence by creating legends, harvesting resources, manipulating events, and spying on your enemies. This is the creators of Do Not Feed the Monkeys, that game that I don't know why anyone would like it, but a lot of people do. It's a narrative-driven strategy game where you generate fear by I don't know how to do it. You play legend cards, and it goes to an area, and you create the hairy hand of Dartmoor. Have you heard that one? Okay, this is vague. And then you basically dispatch your agents to the locations to kind of get them more scared and stuff. It's fuck me. This game is as bad as I'm making it sound. But hey,
I'm glad of that. And you used to work in sales, man. But yes.
Well, it's because I don't want to say it. The visuals are colourful comic book as well. There's a free demo on Steam, and you know what? It looks a lot better than Don't Feed the Monkeys.
And that did really well. That's got such good reviews.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean...
Yeah, I mean, you could not pay me to play that game.
Understandable, to be honest.
The art style is the most interesting thing about this.
Yeah, that kind of comic book looky. Yeah,
that sort of pulp comic book thing is really going quite well, isn't it? Yeah. I mean, they're well respected because of Do Not Feed the Monkeys, but I don't see the draw. I just don't see it.
Yep.
Are they self-proclaimed well respected, or
no? They've just got really positive reviews, thousands of them.
All right, fair enough.
Yeah,
but we're not into it, so
we're not into it. But there you go. If you like it, then you can get it on October 4th. Also coming out on October 4th is Worldless. Tried to say that without a Southwest accent. Coming out on PC, PlayStations, Xboxes, and Switch. Worldless is a stylized 2D adventure platformer with turn-based combat and a mind-bending, interpretative narrative. There you go, nailed that. Players will walk the line between physical and astral planes with a shapeless world, embarking on a journey of self-growth. That just sounds like an erection, doesn't it?
It didn't until now.
It does when you said that, yeah.
Well, yeah, like a journey of self-growth. So you're walking through and you just get an erection.
Either that or your character is the thing that's growing at it.
Oh, you mean growing, as in I'm becoming a better person?
Yes, I think that's...
Well, that's quite fitting. I feel like I should have some self-growth then. Yeah, and understanding. There you go.
Right. Good.
Straight off the bat, the visuals are really nice. It's kind of got an Ori darkness to it, but your character's animations, by swiping and stuff, it lights up the screen, and even the animations of your person is really cool. You can upgrade your abilities. It's weird that this game has turn-based battles, but there is skill focus where you have to time your combination and your defenses. There's a free demo on Steam as well, despite it not coming out on PC until the 21st of November. I think for this type of games, this isn't my type of game. This is a Pete kind of game, but I think this looks really good actually.
Yes, it's straight on my wish list, to be honest.
Oh, I thought it might be, yeah.
Yeah, well, it was sort of the Ori style visuals and the fact that it reminds me of. Do you remember the Riftborn from Endless Space? One of the factions.
Oh yes, of course.
It makes me think of them. So, and I like them as a faction. They were my main. So I am quite keen to play this and may well jump on the demo.
Ooh. Yeah, looks excellent. This game. It looks like it's got that Ori Hollow Knight vibe.
Yes.
I didn't really get from when I was watching the videos. I didn't really get the turn-based kind of thing. It looked pretty fluid to me, but
it didn't look turn-based at all. It doesn't.
It
doesn't. I know.
No, not one bit. So when you just read turn-based, I was like, oh, I did not get that. But looks outstanding. Looks like a little sleeper. This one.
They don't explain it, but the way, if you watch videos of the combat, you can very much see the flowing of it. So I bet it will be when your character comes back to its original form, you need to click again. I reckon that's what it'll be.
Okay.
Because even when you're defending, you make movements back and forth. So I reckon it will all be about as soon as you get back to your original position, click the button, and that'll be the timing. That's my bet. There you go.
Okay.
That's my little 2 cents.
Pete might be able to tell us.
I hopefully will. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Even the videos don't make it look turn-based, so it's
No, they don't.
Exactly.
Curious. Yeah, still curious how that will actually play out.
Yeah. All right, cool. A game that we all know how it turns out. Assassin's Creed Mirage coming out on PC, PlayStation's, Xbox's October 5th. Probably the big one of the week. Yes, the new Assassin's Creed games. This one's based in 9th century Baghdad. The visuals look fucking stunning. I mean, to be fair, like every time. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Every time a new Assassin's Creed game goes out. It's a bit worrying that the three features that they advertise are, one, it's a 15-year franchise. Not really a feature for the game, but we'll ignore that. Two, there's parkour. Well, yeah, it's an Assassin's Creed game. Like,
yeah.
Right, fine. And three, you can explore. Yeah. For me, I need an Assassin's Creed game to have a hook like Black Flag did, or Odyssey with the boat and the hiring, and also there was one ages ago, I think it was in London or Paris, one of those two, where you could like have a base of operations and stuff. I find the actual Assassin's Creed core gameplay of the parkour and the combat really quite boring, so I need that. But hey, I still think people would be quite happy about this.
I think people are really into it. That's what I'm kind of hearing. Like, they're pushing the big franchise thing because they're pushing their going back to roots.
Yes.
Like grassroots type thing. That's what they're going for. I think the real teller with this will be whether they are not subscribing to the full Ubisoft formula and instead going to give something a little bit more focused, because I fucking hate the just map cleaning up stuff of other more recent versions of these games. And this seems to be a shorter, more focused experience from what we hear. So let's see what the reviews say. I think the reviews are out on Wednesday, I think.
Yes, this one will be interesting, because the other bit is, the first time around, the parkour and combat was actually quite entertaining. It became boring for me through repetition. So I think if they have found a way to sort of go back to that, but then evolve it in ways that make the mechanics interesting again, I think.
Do you know what worries me though? I worry that they won't do that, and they will focus so much on getting it back to basics that it is just a basic game. And all these people that buy these, and there's a lot of them, buy each Assassin's Creed game, I think they'll go, well, hang on, the last game the Viking one?
It was,
yeah. And you could, I mean, it was very shallow, but you could like build your own little village there, couldn't you, and build a pub and shit. If I remember correctly.
I can't remember.
Yeah, pretty sure you could do something like
that.
But yeah, I worries me that if they don't hit the basics right, then people could be asking a question: was how come if I got the Viking one before and I got the Odyssey one before, which had all these amazing mechanics, where's that here? That's what worries me.
I really, really liked Odyssey. Like, I really liked it. I did not finish it because it's so long and repetitive. If that game was a condensed 15 to 20 hour version of the game, I think I could have really gotten on board with it and gone, Assassin's Creed is a top franchise. So I think that's what they're going with Mirage. I think that's where they're going. Like, and I could, if they deliver an experience like that, like a condensed version of something like Odyssey.
That's quite interesting you say that, Ben, because of all game franchises that can get away with creating a shorter game, it's Assassin's Creed, because you know another one's going to come out next year. Do you know what I mean?
They do, and they do that, didn't they? They went through periods of just fucking reeling these ones out. But I think it can get away with it because the gameplay in the game, they extend these games to like fucking, well, the Viking one was like 80 hours, 100 hours. Odyssey was like 60 hours, 70 hours, something. Like, they extend it. It's just the same fucking thing. But the actual like story, the cutscenes, like all that's, like, it's very cool. I like it. I'm down with Assassin's Creed. I'm just not down with 70 hours of repetitive shite.
Ben, I think you're really onto something. I think if they really shorten down their games, and then, because when you complete that game, you go, I mean, I'm sure there'll be an after game feature where you just carry on running around, but then it will get people excited for the next one. Well,
I think that's what they're doing, Eddie. I think that's what they're doing.
You know what? I actually like that. Never thought I'd say that. making games shorter. But yeah,
We're all getting it.
love it. Right, next one, a game that Ben tried to cull, but Pete stopped him. Asterix and Obelix Heroes, coming out on PC, PlayStations, Xboxes, and Switch. Ben, and Switch, October 5th. So it's a game based on Asterix and Obelix. How do I know Asterix and Obelix? Like, I know it so well. Like, the big fat guy and the small guy.
Cartoons and shit.
Is it a cartoon? Like,
Films?
when we were kids?
Yeah, when we were kids, I think.
Right, yeah. I mean, I as soon as I heard the word Asterix and Obelix, I went, I know exactly what this is. I know who they are. So, yeah, I couldn't tell you if it's a fucking TV show or anything. But, the visuals are quite in the way of Asterix and Obelix. Yeah.
So, just very niche. Didn't we used to watch it in Latin now and again?
Yeah, I think we
Wasn't
did.
it like a reward at our terrible grammar school for everyone's background here?
You're making us sound very middle class.
I know. I am literally just
Yeah.
having a my God situation. That's where we know this from. I'm pretty sure that's what it is. And yet
Yes,
I'm
listeners,
very
I think you're right.
we are very classically educated, and we watched this
fuck's sake.
in school.
Right, Kurt, come on. We need you to level us out. Come on. Oh, fuck's sake. So the visuals are quite cartoony, as you expect, because that's what it is, really. The combat is done with cards, where you play down a card and it's like a hook or whatever. The map is done like a board game, which I don't like, where it's literally just advance along, which really upsets me. But apart from that, it looks okay. It looks alright. You guys?
Yeah, I'd agree with that. It does look alright. It's just the attachment I have to Asterix and Obelix as an idea.
Exactly.
Very strong. Yeah.
I think this looks like a load of shite. If it wasn't Asterix and Obelix, this would be
Ben, it's a deck
Nothing.
builder. You'd love it.
nothing.
You love a deck builder!
You do, come on.
If it wasn't attached to this IP, which, I mean, it's not exactly a draw, it would
Get out of my life, Ben. Get out of
grind
my life.
us.
Right, let's move on. Ben clearly doesn't like this game, so
Exactly,
you've upset me now. Next one, The Bloodline, coming out on PC October 5th. Sit back and relax to this one. An open, freeform adventure RPG that lets you play your way, reforge bonds between kingdoms, explore the wilds, craft and plan adventures, and wield mighty weapon or magic as you prepare for what is to come. This is a medieval open-world RPG. The visuals are quite cartoony in the fact that the characters are all quite bad cartoony, but the visuals of the environments themselves are really quite nice. Like in certain areas, like going into cities and stuff, it actually looks fucking cool. There's crafting, fishing, cooking, brewing, farming. There's special abilities. You have different skills. There's also, even though I haven't found any information on it, you can, and I quote, construct your village. So there's obviously going to be some sort of base building or village building. Dare I even say maybe some, I don't know, colony management in there? Oh, I don't know.
Dare you?
You're in love with this, aren't you, Eddie?
Maybe we'll get to the end.
This is on your wish list already, isn't it, Eddie?
I'm trying to be neutral, until I say my opinion. You can peel all the different style of people as well, like your bards and your warriors and your even advertised as a bard, you can get jobs in taverns to sing, and with druids you can choose certain abilities to turn into certain animals and shit. And yes, you can be a stealthy archer. When I saw the visuals, when I started the research on this game, I was pretty sad because I was like, oh god, this looks like another fucking, I don't know, Roblox shitty game. But fuck me, after doing some research, I couldn't be more excited. Yeah, I wishlisted and then some. This game looks fucking good.
I mean, the fact that you used the word "looks" there spoiled the point. But there's a lot of potential here, isn't there?
Oh, there's a lot of potential.
Yeah.
I'm quite glad that you said this, because when I saw this game and was watching the videos myself, I thought, it could be something here.
Yes, yes,
and I'm glad that you said that.
I think there could be something really good here. It's just a shame it is wrapped in some really bad wrapping paper.
Well,
but you know what?
It's that kind of Minecrafty Roblox styling, isn't it?
And and the people look bad, but fuck me, like honestly, watch some gameplay footage exactly of like, and even like the big, like if you come like across a big giant and shit, like it's done so well that you get the, I don't know, the feeling of the grandeur of it all. Is that a word?
Yes, that works.
Right, good.
You spoil it by adding it.
Was I? Do I keep quiet? No. Oh God, I think this has potential to be a fucking good game. So yeah, I've got it on my wish list. I'm gonna get this. I'll let you know.
I was disappointed because I thought the game called The Bloodline was going to be a vampire game.
Of course you did. Classic.
Fucking vampires.
What I'm going to love, Eddie, is when this drops for £70 full price. And you're like,
I mean, it's the developer's first game, so if it is, then hats off to them if they got the balls to do that. Yeah, fair enough. Oh dear. No, I reckon it's going to be a nice little 30 quidder, and then I'll get it on a nice little sale for like 20 quid or something. Lovely job.
Ooh, that's big money for you. That's good stuff.
There you go.
He thinks it's worth it.
I do. Like, I've seen clips. Like, it sounds like it could have all the, like, base build and shit that I like. And the fact that they, like, go, you can be a stealth archer, that's a big bonus. And I've also seen gameplay footage of, like, awesome moments, like, that, like even on the Steam page, there's one of him, like, riding a horse, like coming through the gates and shooting a guy in the head, and and like some of the combat looks quite good, and it
does look smooth, doesn't it? Yeah,
I think this could be good. Right, let's move on to another game that again you might be a vampire game by the title. Cricket's 24 coming out on PC. No, it's not. No, it's not. It's coming out on PlayStations and Xboxes. There you go. October 5th. So yeah, it's the latest cricket game. You can play the Ashes tournament, and you will now be able to play as a professional Indian T20 team for apparently the first time in the series. It has over 300 players featuring full photogrammetry. Didn't mispronounce it. Well done, Eddie. Pete, obviously you're a cricketer, so I'm going to come to you on this one.
Yeah, it's I'll probably play it at some point. I mean,
disappointment there.
Yeah, these games don't get that much of a budget, I don't think, so they never end up looking that great to me.
They don't look that great, do they? Like the character models never look
exactly good. And it's after the Ashes, so it's kind of like, well, yeah, you know, not quite as pulled in by it as before. I mean, there is a World Cup coming up, but still. But the last one was okay, but it's also, what great changes will you have made in a year that are going to make me care that much?
It might come to Game Pass at some point.
Exactly. That is when I will play it.
It'll be a good Game Pass game as well. Like, fuck me, the amount of hours I've chucked into the golf one. Yeah.
Previous version went on Game Pass, didn't it? So.
I played it. Yeah, I played it. Had a good time with it for a couple of weeks. Yes. So, if it comes to that, I will probably play it. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. Can I tell you the biggest bit of the news for the week as well? It's releasing at £50 on Xboxes and PlayStations, and on Switch, it's $35.
What, Cricket 24?
Yeah.
Wow.
It's £15 cheaper on Switch.
Yeah. Switch giving us a discount. That
Sorry?
doesn't seem right.
A Switch discount? Is that a thing?
But that says to me that they are so embarrassed with that particular version of the game that they can't charge £50.
They cannot charge £50.
Like, they're like, this is a rough port. Like, this, we can't possibly do 50 quid.
Oh dear.
Okay.
I like how there must be, we all felt the same, there must be a reason why Switch are not charging more, or at least level.
I really hope they actually took it to Nintendo, fully intending it to be 50 quid, and someone took a look at it and went, no,
that is rough.
Oh, brilliant. Right, let's move on to Hidden Through Time 2, Myths and Magic, coming out on PC October 5th. Join Clicky, great name, on a new enchanted adventure in Hidden Through Time 2, Myths and Magic. Search for hidden objects scattered around hand-drawn worlds and unlock more as you go, with both a single-player campaign and an online mode where you can create your own dream world. The adventure never ends. It's just like the previous one, a nice hand-drawn art style. Unfortunately, the whole game is just like finding objects to advance the story. But hey, it advertised itself as a cozy game, and it is. It's like its typical, simple, cozy kind of game. So, yeah. I suspect none of us will be playing this anytime soon, but...
Nah, look shit.
This is the one I meant to cull and forgot. So, yeah.
Oh, guys. Guys, come on. Just because we're fucking, like, hardcores. Like, this could be a lovely little cozy game. This could be a game that Kirk doesn't say, not for me, for.
This could be a game Kirk puts in Game of the Year. That's
and then we'd have to play it. Fuck. Right. Shit, we should have called it and then he wouldn't have been able to do it.
Exactly.
Oh, I didn't get that through. Right, let's move on to Knight versus Giant. Oh, I thought it was going to be Knights versus Giant. Knight versus Giant, the Broken Excalibur. PC, PlayStations, Xboxes and Switch, October 5th. That one's coming out. Step into the greaves of King Arthur in the fantasy action roguelite and wield the Broken Excalibur in a quest to rescue the scattered citizens of Camelot. I was going to say Catalot then. That's a better place to live. Vanquish the calamitous void giant and escape the astral dimension once and for all. It's an action roguelite with like kind of simple cartoony visuals. There's 100 plus active and passive abilities you can have. You can also construct shops and amenities that raise your kingdom level and call upon the talents of your citizens. So I was going to shit on this game, but my God, after that little line. Yeah, unfortunately, the visuals are very cartoony, so I don't think this is a game for me, but what do you guys think?
It reminds me of Hades, Ben. I'm guessing.
I was just about to say the same thing. Yeah, I was just about to say it's got a touch of Hades about it.
It does. Have a touch of Hades.
I'm not mad about it, and I'm not mad that there's a demo either. So
yeah,
fair enough.
Agreed.
Yeah, I don't dislike the visuals. I think the production value looks pretty high, but I can understand why you wouldn't like the visuals, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, I completely agree. Yeah.
Yeah, so to be honest, it is another one I might dip a toe in and just see. Because Hades 2 is still a little way away, so yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. What high-spoken words about such a terrible-looking game. Let's move on to Stop Dead, coming out on PC October 5th. A rogue AI is hell-bent on destroying its creators and has swept you up in its plans. Use your superhuman, Sean Connery abilities to run, jump, slide and pull hundreds of objects as projectile weapons to blast everything in your path in this funny and chaotic first-person telekinetic brawler. Stop Dead! Why'd I have to end on that? Yeah, it's a fast-paced first-person shooter parkour game. I say fast-paced. If you stop, you die. So, yeah, that's why it's fast-paced.
That's the gimmick of the name.
Yeah. The whole game's kind of focused on the fact that it's fast-paced and that it's throwing shit. Don't get me wrong, you can have weapons and shit, but the entertaining bit is the grabbing and pulling and throwing weapons. There's 160 throwable objects. And to be fair, like I've seen footage already, and it looks like you can create some awe-inspiring, like fun moments. It could be a nice fun game for the casual gamer. What do you think?
Sure.
I thought it looked quite good.
Yeah.
I thought it looked quite decent. It's only on PC, which is a down thing, but I do. You know what it reminded me of? What's that Neon White type?
Right.
Game? Is that what it's called? Yeah, it's that type of game.
Yeah.
That kind of like almost speed running type game. Mixed with a little bit, it doesn't look like this, but mixed with a little bit of Doom, like that kind of constant
Doom
action stuff.
Yeah, Doom is the one that came to mind for me.
Yeah,
in terms of who might like it.
Exactly. Yeah, I think there's something there.
Yeah, I don't know. It's very in your face, isn't it?
Very in your face and very high pace. I think that's what puts me off this.
Yeah, there's an awful lot of like lens flare-y explosions, bright lights flashing at you, that kind of stuff, which is quite off-putting for me. But yeah, I'm sure the Doom market would love it, to be honest.
All right. Cool. Lovely. God, we're very positive this week. It's very good. Next one, Detective Pikachu Returns, coming out on Switch October 6th. So yeah, it's the sequel to the 2016's Detective Pikachu, which I've put in my notes. I've put one line, silly little detective game. But Ben, you like silly games?
That's very hurtful. But,
it's accurate, and I assume you're also going to get this game, and you probably played the last one.
I would like to get this game, but it's £35. I don't know if I can stretch that. Like, this game looks...
It's £40 on the Nintendo eShop, Ben. So
I know, but I saw it for 35 quid.
Oh, okay.
Else,
right, sorry.
It's not like I've researched or anything.
No, it doesn't sound like it.
But this game, when they showed this in the Nintendo Direct, it looks fucking tragic. Like, graphically. This is awful. Like, this is a fucking atrocious looking game.
Yes.
But so are all Pokemon games, so get over it.
Exactly.
You play as Pikachu, Detective Pikachu, and you've got with your mate who's called, I think he's called Tim Goodman. Like,
it's definitely Tim.
Man.
I know it's Tim. Yeah.
Yeah, Tim, and his second name is
Tim Goodman. Yeah, you're right.
Wow. It's like, and I think his dad's been like kidnapped or something. His dad, who looks like his brother, like.
Right.
as with all of these animes where the parents look the same age as the children, Tim like interviews people when Pikachu interviews Pokemon, and I think I'd actually really like to play it. I just don't think I can justify £35 on it, but I would actually like to play it.
Okay. I'm not surprised. I'm slightly disappointed, but I'm not.
I'm not saying it's a good game. I'm just saying I'd like to play it.
I mean, you're onto something. The visuals are horrendous.
Oh, they are not good. Like
you'd
no one,
expect on
no
a 360 game. Like.
Yeah, oh god, 360. That'd be amazing.
Let's go back. Game Boy.
Yeah, I think you'd be hard pressed anyone to say this game looks good.
Yeah.
I don't know how they get away with it. I don't know how they get away with it. When you look at like other Nintendo games that come out, like actual Nintendo games, and the quality of like how Mario games look, or how like Splatoon looks, or Luigi's Mansion 3, one of the best looking games on the Switch. And then you see this, you're like, oh my days.
Oh dear. What a shame. Right,
so rough.
Let's move on to an actually beautiful game, Forza Motorsport, coming out on PC and Xbox October 10th. Oh, is it? Game Pass?
It is, yeah.
Oh, wow, what a delight. Yes, this is the next Forza game. A lot of people have been looking forward to this. Is this the one Kirk's been banging that he wants for a long time?
This is the one that Kirk banged on, that he loved it. He made a YouTube video, he's all into it. And then we said to him recently, are you going to play it?
Yeah,
no,
and he went, no. Yeah. Right. Brilliant. So it looks stunning, though, again, even in non-photo mode before Ben gets angry. There's 500 real-world cars as well. There's 20 living tracks. What's living tracks mean?
That they're dynamic and moving.
Well, no, because they did go on to say it, but I just don't understand why they would call it living tracks.
Oh no, I didn't read what they said after that, but
they do go into it.
What I mean is like the grass moving and stuff like that. Like
right.
it appears like a lived-in world. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
They do go on to say, so for example, here we are, the dynamic time of day with weather and unique driving conditions.
Oh, okay, yes. All right.
So maybe that's what they mean by living tracks.
I think that's exactly what they mean. I think that's what they mean.
Right,
yeah.
Cool. Very confusing. There's also
not that they got houses on the road or anything.
It walks away. The track just walks away.
Yes, that's the image I got.
You
by
can base build
tracks.
on the track.
Oh shit! Hang on, am I buying Forza? 800 performance upgrades. There's a fun and rewarding single player campaign as well. It's called the Builders Cup Career Mode. It's I actually, if it's Game Pass, I will give this a try.
I will as well. I think, yeah, I will as well. I mean, I know it's roomy.
I know,
but
it's
maybe times are changing.
Yeah.
Maybe times are changing. Maybe we need to branch out. I know certain listeners will be very happy about that.
I look forward to your review, guys. Good on you. Yes.
You know what, Pete?
You're not branching out.
Not a chance.
I I wouldn't even get excited, Pete, because every time I do play one of these games, I don't mind it. Like, I didn't even mind Horizon, but I was just furious that the levels matched your car. That really pissed me off.
Yeah, it kind of made it a bit pointless.
It made it totally pointless. It made it totally pointless.
This is the thing for me, is all these games is, you know what you're going to get. It's just that I don't place much value on that. It's not, if I was in the mood for a racing game, I don't think any of them would disappoint. It's just not what I'm looking for.
It's like Horizon, Forza Horizon, and Kirk summed it up brilliantly for me. Like, when I started playing it, I was like, oh, this isn't that bad, is it? And he's like, no, it's really fun. It's like, but you just turn it on and have a bit of fun. And I was like, is that it? Like, you just, so yeah. I'm just race.
And Kirk made the very good point, in the sense he said some people do just want to do that, and I thought, yes, I respect that, Kirk, but I'm not that type of gamer. I cannot just plug in, have a game, and go, oh, I had fun there. No, I need to have something to play for.
I respect that some people are like that, and yeah, I can get that. People just want to have fun, but what a fucking waste of time. And that's coming from somebody who spends hundreds of hours playing video games. to then say that about a particular video game type. Something.
Right, cool. Let's move on. Roblox is coming to PlayStation October 10th. PlayStation 4. There you go. To those people.
Yeah, there you go.
Get excited. Last game of the week, Wild Card Football, coming out on PC, PlayStations, Xboxes, and Switch, October 10th. This is the blurb. Arcade football for everyone. That's it. Great blurb. Yes. To the point, precise.
Nailed it.
Explains the game very well. Brilliant.
Kaepernick's all over it as well, isn't he?
Yeah. It's a cartoony American football game where it's 7v7, so obviously not realistic. You can create your own dream team, and all your people have like stats and stuff, so there is a bit of depth. But there's like wild cards, which is kind of the main feature, which creates like fun abilities, like create a wall, or your person becomes 10 times bigger, or so it's like a city. I don't want to say city because that sounds like I'm shitting on it.
It's almost a non-Warhammer Blood Bowl, isn't it?
Pete. That's well said. This could be great fun. And I'm probably saying this, you probably expected me to say it's stupid. I used to play an ice hockey version of this game where it was pretty much identical. Like, you used to click a button and you used to go really fast, or you click another button and you get really big, and therefore people are just beating the shit out of each other everywhere. I think this has a lot of that in it, and I think this will be great fun for the casual players.
What gets me about this is, now my American football knowledge is limited, but to have Colin Kaepernick as your kind of poster boy, that does not seem like that would sell. That doesn't seem like a good move.
Jesus,
he doesn't seem like. I thought he was like people didn't like him.
I think he's quite a divisive figure.
Is he?
Yes. I mean, someone might say that arcade football is the only place he's going to get a game as well. But
whoa, Pete, we're looking for a sponsor.
He may actually have been signed.
I thought they might make reference to that. I thought they might go, "Oh, you have to play on the streets," so like, something like that, because it is arcadey, like made up football, isn't it?
I could very much see that as the line, but. It is an interesting choice. I don't know, this game does look pretty decent, but it is also, by the way, from Saber Interactive.
Exactly, you did SnowRunner, World War Z, Insurgency, whatever it's called.
Probably making KOTOR.
Yeah, it was partially, yes, helping with that, Evil Dead the game, the other one. So, I actually think this would be really fun.
Production value looks pretty good.
Yeah.
It does. Oh, wow, what a positive week we've had. What a delight!
That said, do you know how much that game is?
Oh, I just closed it down.
I bet it's 50 quid.
Done my research.
There is a deluxe edition that's 50 quid, Ben, but the normal edition is a cool £35, which...
okay, it's a starting price, isn't it?
It struck me as a bit high.
It is, but I can see it. But at least it's a budget game.
Fuck me. We have different ideas of budget.
But what do you expect it to come out at? What do you expect it to come out when it's coming out on PS5 and Xbox Series X and stuff? Like, do you really think it's going to be 15 quid? Probably not.
I more thought 25 to 29.
25 is a good price. I would have expected 30. I think 25 is a good price for it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right, my pick of the week. I think it's quite unsurprising, even though there are some belters there. It's Bloodline. I think that vampire-inspired game could be fucking brilliant.
Which one had him salivating from the start of the blurb onwards? Yeah, it was obviously Bloodline, wasn't it?
Yes, the build-up of saliva and my self-growing. It was all for the Bloodline.
Too much.
That's a good callback.
That was well done, but equally horrific. Good. Great. Okay. And in that tone, let's move on to the Cyberpunk cocksucking, shall we?
Oh, come on! Fuck's sake! It's been a very sexual episode, isn't it? What's this
on the
about?
side, Eddie.
I don't know about that.
The moment Kurt's not here, Eddie goes sexual. All right.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Well, I won't start with Cyberpunk. I bought the new FIFA. I bought EAFC 24.
Jesus.
When it I bought it on Switch, which I said I was gonna do because I cannot imagine sitting and playing this game on the TV. Like I wouldn't do that. But. Right. Having it in handheld is exactly what I fucking wanted. Now, you do get certain concessions. It's 30 FPS. Plays perfectly fine, but you've got to understand there are better versions of the game. But, like, that may hold it back from being, like, a top-tier competitive game. Like, if you are a FIFA player and you want to play competitive FIFA, this is what you do. It's your game. You're not getting it on Switch.
No.
But if you want to play it casually, then it's a great way to play it. Like, I cannot underestimate the joy this weekend of watching the Ryder Cup on the TV and playing Ultimate Team at the same time.
Yeah,
I've had a blast. I love playing Ultimate Team, just not spending any money, just trying to eke out a better player here and there, bit of chemistry, all that kind of stuff, beating people, like, and having games which are, like, genuinely, like, sometimes you're getting beaten, sometimes you're winning. Like, I've had genuine fun. I'm not sure whether it's just because the Switch player base is maybe a little, because people playing on Switch are probably playing in handheld as well. So,
have you worked out if it's across? Like,
it's not cross. It's pure Switch,
lovely.
Which is great. The only drawback, and I'll say this, the only drawback is that if you play this on PlayStation or Xbox, your transfer markets have like 7 million things on them. I don't think I'm exaggerating either. I think it's like 7 million. And what that does is drive the prices down, so it doesn't cost as much to because there's so many more cards and stuff. Like, it normalizes the market quicker. Whereas on the Switch version, there's only, as of yesterday or earlier, there was 20,000 items. So when I'm buying, there's not an abundance of every player and stuff, so everything's a little bit more expensive. I find it means a lot more when you get that player and stuff like that.
I think that's actually better, because it means...
I am really enjoying it. Like, my team of, like, low 80s, like, Premier League players, like, I'm absolutely loving it. Like, it's great. They do need to, now that Hoyland's moved to United, they do need to get someone to do his face, because he is just a insert player A.
Is it? Yeah, generic face. Yeah,
generic face. They really need to sort that out, because it's really off-putting when he scores. Because he's in my team actually. But yeah, I'm really, really glad I bought it. Actually, I think it's a top buy on the Switch. So yeah, really good. The other thing that I've been playing is obviously Cyberpunk Phantom Liberty, the DLC.
Yes.
So continuing to play Cyberpunk. I'm about 4 or 5 hours into the DLC. Last week I talked about how I started a new game with the 2.0 patch. I think I'm 26 hours in total. I can't stop playing it. Like, I played it all weekend as well. My girlfriend was just watching me play, and she was really enjoying just the story and stuff, like always commenting throughout and stuff like that. The DLC is fucking phenomenal. Like, the production value and the quest, the scope of it, the new area. So Dogtown is just a completely new area tacked on. You can go in the area, come out and stuff like that. You're not tied to just doing the DLC at that point. How it kind of links in with the real world, or with the other parts of the world, like with the other characters and things like that, like other people messaging you, things going on in the world. It all seems to me to fit together, and this seems to be such a huge addition that they've added. I mean, I said last week with 2.0, I know, Eddie, you're not going to like this, but I honestly think, for me, this is the best game I've ever played. Like, this is the package there is now. It is just hands down the best game. Like,
so it tops Elden Ring.
Yeah, it does. It does, Pete. I've had this conversation with myself. It really, really does. I think it wins out in almost every battle of like different parts of it. And I was even having a conversation with Donnie, and I said, like, I've stopped comparing this to Starfield now. It's unfair. It's just unfair. It's like an adult fighting a child. It's not fair. So this is so good. Every part of the game appeals to me. Idris Elba in the DLC, his performance is fantastic so far. It's like he genuinely cared. Like, and the mocap they've done, like his walk, his everything, like it's just fucking fantastic. Like, it's pure Lufa.
Yeah.
It's pure Lufa. It's dark. The new DLC is such a contrasting area, being dark and gritty and stuff like that. It's a must play. If you've got the game and you like the game or have played the game, it's a must play. And it's got me even considering actually going for my very first platinum, because I'm not a trophy hunter. I think it's arbitrary nonsense to say that you're 100% in a game. Well, you're only 100% what people have said are the achievements. It doesn't mean you're doing anything. But I think I might do it. Because it's a goal.
Just so you've done it in one.
Just I've done it, yeah, exactly. Yeah. But yeah, I know you've been playing it a bit, Pete, but not the DLC part yet, right?
No, and to be honest, that's probably what I needed to hear, because I was even playing today, but I mentioned this to Ben as earlier, but there was a rather irritating bug which stopped me in my tracks.
Yeah, you said.
3 times in a row, I got in a lift, I climbed 42 floors, and the floor of the lift disappeared.
Yes.
And you fall all the way back down and you flatline.
That's funny.
And it loads back up and you walk back to the lift and you do it again and it does it again. And I sit there going, fuck's sake. So I think I kind of needed something, because it's for the heist, obviously, which you'll both get as a reference, but no spoilers from it for those who haven't played a game that came out in 2020. And I just kind of want to be done with this bit. I love it. I think it's amazing, but it's not what I'm playing for. So having this is what's stopping me getting to the main game. Are you joking? Is driving me mad.
It's weird, Pete, because I said to you that I also had a bug, which sounds very similar to yours, because I fell through the lift as well, but it was at a different point in that mission in a different lift.
Yeah.
So
God.
I think get past that and you're there. But I completely understand what you're saying with the heist part, because you want to get to the game again.
Yes,
that part is phenomenal. But it's scripted and it's very focused. And
I've done it twice through already, and it is that very focused section as well. There's also, once you've done this bit, there are certain people you're like, I would treat you so differently if I could. If you weren't, if there was a plot armor involved, I would be very different with you people. But yes, so I've kind of been looking forward to getting through that bit, and have been stalled. But the key for me is getting to the DLC, and in particular Dogtown. I love a new area. I thought The Witcher 3 did it amazingly well with both new areas they brought in. Yeah. So I've been really looking forward to Dogtown. And I don't know if you've come across this, Ben, but one thing I did love is if you steal a cop car, you can't get into Dogtown. They won't open the gates.
Oh, they're not?
No, if you're in a police vehicle, because they're not allowed there, they won't let you in even if you've just stolen it. Which I thought was a really cool little touch.
I love how they have incorporated this DLC and like the way they've justified the storyline and justified getting into the place. It actually feels like so different. Like, there's no way that I could have got into this place unless this had happened. Like, it's the way they've done it is pretty masterful. And even like new items, new gun stuff. I said to you that I found like this ultra powerful. I was using Johnny's gun before that, but ultra powerful fucking power pistol, and I'm a pistol user, and fuck me, it's so good. Like it just keeps giving. It keeps giving this. Yeah, I'm all into this at the moment. I'm in terms of the main game, I progressed it to the point where I thought the DLC would fit in best.
Yeah. Perfect.
And that's pretty near the end of the game. But I want to do everything. I want to do everything in the game.
Excellent. Yeah, I can't wait to play it. Oh, I need to actually buy the DLC and focus on getting to that bit.
How much is the DLC?
25. But you've got to remember, think of Blood and Wine, Eddie. They're like a 25 hour game added on.
Yeah, they're done well. Yeah, CD Projekt doing well. Yeah.
I want Eddie to play Cyberpunk so
badly. I've been going on a few videos this week, and I think if I wasn't on holiday for the next 10 days, I think I would actually be buying it right now. So
I don't know how much the base game is, like how much a digital version is if you bought it on.
It's reduced if you combine them, I believe, as well.
Oh, okay, that could be an option. But yes, I reckon I could get it for 25 then.
Yeah, honestly, Eddie, I think Cyberpunk is the best package game I've ever played. It's amazing.
Yeah, and I think I did actually see it, Eddie, as like the combined option being like 55. So you might not be far away from that. I'm not totally sure there, but yeah, I definitely can't wait to jump into this. I will say, other than that, all the 2.0 updates are really good though.
That's what I'm happy about, because I want to get it again, but I'm glad you said that, because I want to play the game, but then I'll get the DLC if I want. I think that's fine.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
It's made the game. It's definitely made the game harder, for one thing.
I love it. I love the difficulty change, and I love the combat. It's so much more meaningful now, I think.
Yeah, I would very much agree. Although having gone from being an unkillable god, it's a really weird situation to then be like, oh god, I better hide from this person with a pistol.
I love turning it, because they've allowed for crazy OP builds to be built, and I feel like I'm getting there. Like I said to my girlfriend the other day when I was playing, I was like, I'm at the stage in the game where now I feel like I just can't be killed.
Yes, yeah, and that is the point I always want to reach. My biggest problem, as we all know, is I want to finish my build and then play the game. I don't want to finish my build with just the final mission to play. So it's like infuriating. Like, I don't want to waste a good mission that I would like to do when I'm already a Superman.
There is that thing, because in a game like this, like doing quests is how you get the most XP in order to level up to make your build, and so you're moving closer to the conclusion of the story, or conclusion of everything. But when I was going through this, like they're almost, it feels like infinite. It feels like it's infinite in terms of the gigs and stuff. Like, there's just so many side quests and quests to this game. Like, you've got your core main storylines, but it is so vast. Like, you're just not gonna do everything.
I do hope you're right, because I cleared it completely the first time I played Cyberpunk.
Yeah.
And you then did just like, I have literally nothing to do. I'd even wiped out 2 of the gangs. They no longer appeared. So
I'll see where I get to on this, because I'm going to continue playing it right to the end. And I want to know what that's like, because I didn't get there before, and I'm looking at my quest log now, and I'm thinking this is only going to get bigger in Dogtown. Like,
excellent. Well, we'll definitely hear more about Phantom Liberty, I think, as we get further into the actual new part of it.
But let's hear about the main event for this, what we've been playing.
Well, what I was going to say was, let's hear about something completely different. Let's hear about this little game called Starfield.
This little indie game called Starfield.
Yeah. That Eddie's been dipping his toes into.
Looking forward. I have been looking forward to this, Eddie.
I mean, I did talk about it a few weeks ago, didn't I?
You did, but you played like 8 to 10 hours.
And most of that was, I think, designing a ship, wasn't it?
The
Scarab, was that
to be fair, Kirk did look at it on Saturday, and I did say to Kirk, like, bear in mind though, mate, that I had an interview and I spent like 3 days prepping for that, and fuck me, the hours were huge. I can't remember what they were, but it made Kirk go, fuck me, Eddie, that's not okay. So I think I was averaging something like 8 hours a day. So
like my Elden Ring days.
Yes, full-time job times. Yeah,
full-time job.
Yeah. Where do I go with this? I've broke it down into 2 areas: the positives before rant and the rant section. So there's 2.
I
feel there's some framing in the way that's put.
Yeah,
okay.
I feel like we know where this is heading now. But anyway, let's go.
I'm probably going to be probably one of the biggest advocates for this game because I love Bethesda and I love these kind of games, and there are some positives there. Like I think the shipbuilding is incredible.
Insanely good, isn't it?
I honestly have spent so fucking long on the shipbuilding. Like I've like created saves so I can like experiment with it, and I've even found myself like doing cheesy ways to get loads of money so that I can go back and edit it some more. And it is really like it's not only is it rewarding when you get into like ship battles, and this is quite sad. Like honestly, like building my ship out and then going and looking around inside.
Yeah.
I've never had so much self-growth after like building a perfect ship.
Okay.
I had to wedge that one in. Yeah, so absolutely love that. I think there's no other game that does it better. The Outposts, pretty good as well. Well, I love the Outposts. I love doing them. I do think they could have been better. I think it's not good enough, in my opinion. I think there was just a few things like in Fallout 4 that they did better than this, like including the trading and just setting stuff up. They had so much scope there that they could have created really good living things there with the Outposts, but I just don't think they have.
You know what annoyed me most about Outposts, Eddie?
Yeah.
Just give me one consolidated storage.
I
don't mind if it's built of separate modules, but let me see everything I've got.
Yeah,
you absolute bastards.
Yeah, well, people are saying that, Pete, and they're also making a very valid point of the ship cargo. You know, sending one ship to, and it looks ridiculous having these 4 massive fucking platforms all for different ships going to your other outposts and stuff, and. Yeah. That could have been done better as well.
Yes.
Yeah. For me, it's actually more the living in. I just wish there was ways that you could just I've looked at the updates as they've come out for No Man's Sky, and they've slowly incorporated all this into it. So I don't know why Starfield didn't do it from the start. It's a bit upsetting, if I'm going to be totally honest with you. And especially when it's clearly a focus of them to have that like long game style with the shipbuilding and with the outposts being involved. So I don't know why they didn't incorporate better things in there. But anyway, companions and the skills and allocating, I think that's all fun. Again, I wish they expanded on it by just maybe hiring more people and having more positions to do in outposts and stuff like that. But hey, I think that's quite a cool feature. I like that there's loads of missions.
Yeah.
There's missions pretty much every fucking way you go, isn't there, really? I remember even once when I wanted to get money and experience fast, and I just walked into an area and just talked to some people, and like 1 in 3 of the people were like, "Hey, do you want a mission?" And I'm like, yes I do, thank you.
Yeah. I had that with Gagarin, which is like one of the smaller planets you can go to. I just wandered in there and was like, no one sent me here. No one wanted me to come here. But the moment you arrive, everyone wants a piece.
Yes,
everyone.
Absolutely. Even like on one of the planets I landed on, went, civilian outpost. Hey, this guy's been doing this. Oh, wow, fucking hell. No one's happy in this planet. Just no one gets along with anyone. Just Jesus Christ. So I like that. Granted, some of them are quite bad. Like even the main story is quite bad compared to some of the side
open
arcs.
That can of worms for Ben again.
I'm now finally, after God knows how many hours, I've started enjoying the combat. I think it's my fault, and I think I told you this, Ben. I think it's my fault for playing on hard difficulty because I don't have the satisfaction until literally the past few days. I haven't had guns or abilities to kill people in a satisfying way. You know, like in your Skyrims or your Fallouts where you have that silent weapon or your bow that just one-shots someone and you go like, oh, that's so cool because now I can go and silently kill the next one. Well, I haven't had that until recently. I think it's the hard difficulty. It just makes everyone a fucking bullet sponge.
Well, I actually changed it the other way around, Eddie, because I went up to hard because I found the combat so, like, just passive mundane. And just like mundane, just walking, that's killing everything. Just be like, this is so boring. I had to put it up.
Well, I have a different experience because I'm now on very hard when I play it.
Yeah,
but I've also leveled quite extensively, and this is an odd segue, but I'll bring it in. I also watched Black Hawk Down, and it gave me the thought of I wonder if I can be a helicopter gunner in Starfield. So I bought the biggest minigun I could find, and I went to a low gravity planet where you can basically boost forever. And I machine gunned every single thing I could find. It was absolutely amazing. I'm not going to lie. One of the best experiences I've had, 10 out of 10. So
There we go.
I think you can make your own difficulty, but on very hard.
Your own combat.
Them being bullet sponges was actually a good thing. So, yeah.
Well, this brings me on to my negatives, my second half. And that brings me on quite nicely, Pete, right? Because... as we all know, I played a game called Imperial Galactic Survival, I think a year ago or so now, and I thought it was really, really good. Like, don't get me wrong, it's an indie game. I think it's made by like 2 people or something. And if you play it, you'll go, fuck me, this looks like garbage. But if a game made by 2 people with a budget of probably £45 can have it that you can get in your ship, fly up into space, and then the only loading screen that you have is between places. You can go down to, at any time, any point, down to one of the planets, and as you say, Pete, and what the beauty of that made it was you could go up to bases and take out all the people that are on, the watchtowers and stuff by literally getting your lasers on your ship and just beating the shit out of everyone, so everyone had to run to cover. Yeah. That creates great gameplay. Obviously, Starfield doesn't have that. I think its biggest downfall by far, because not only does it get rid of that kind of gameplay, but it means when I'm going somewhere, I'm just going from A to B. The way this game has been set out, the fact that you can't fly up off buildings or you can't set different landing spots or any of this, or even fly your ship, really, means that it takes all the excitement out. It makes it a tick box exercise. It makes it a press start, press down, press A, then go to the next press A. And then when you're at the new spot, as soon as I get out of my ship, it's going to be a fight. While if it wasn't done it, like Imperial Galactic Survival, you can land on a different area, you could flank, you can try and sneak from a high vantage point. You could do all these things. And this doesn't. I think the other problem that this silly little system where you have to get in and fly and stuff, it means because you're going from A to B and you're pressing click and you're fast traveling, it gets rid of, and I'm going to go big here, it gets rid of everything that Bethesda games do well. The Bethesda games, what they do well is they have those moments when you're walking along and you just bump into this amazingly written character with a great backstory and you go, oh, that's so cool. I never encountered him last time I crossed this road. And not only that, but obviously all the random fights you get in. Like where you'll just be walking along and you'll see like super mutants walking down the road and you'll go, fuck, right, I need to quickly hide. And then sometimes, like if you haven't saved in a while, you go, oh shit, you know what, I'm just going to hide until they walk past. And it brings the fear in, it brings the excitement, it brings great memories of gaming in. And because of this fast travel thing and not taking off the planet, it's gotten rid of everything that Bethesda do well. However, I am not going to blame Bethesda, because the only way you can do what I'm asking is if you have the ship, manually fly into orbit and vice versa, fly down and land somewhere. And if I'm going to be nice, I don't think, because of the size of this game, because how well the graphics are, graphics are okay, how big the game is, I don't think they could physically have done that. I don't think it was a design choice. I think it was a performance choice. I don't think they went, oh yeah, everyone wants to just land on the planet. I think it'll take too much power of the computer to do so.
Or this is too difficult to develop.
To do it this way. Exactly, Pete. So I think I don't want to blame Bethesda. I think in the nicest possible way, I think Bethesda should just do a couple more things with it. Oh yeah, introduce this, introduce that, fine. But I think they need to quietly go into the background, quickly make up a next Elder Scrolls or Fallout game, to be honest with you. I know that sounds harsh, because I like playing Starfield. I like playing it. But it's nothing compared to the first few weeks that I was playing Fallout 4, the first few weeks I was playing Fallout 3, the first few weeks I was playing Skyrim, the first bit of Elder Scrolls, every other Bethesda game apart from 76, the first few weeks I was obsessed. This game, we are all of us are saying, yeah, it is good. That's not good enough. This is Bethesda. This is game-changing for the game industry. So, yeah, look, an 8 out of 10 for me. 8 out of 10.
This is the thing. I think I mentioned this before, but I'm going to double down if so. I still kind of wish they'd done it as one star system. You know how Serenity, Firefly, everything is actually in one star system. There's 3 stars, but they're close enough they're all orbiting. And I'm like, if you did that, you could still have multiple planets, you could still have multiple factions and all the rest, but you could also kind of make it work size-wise to fly around.
I
without
agree.
having
And if you
to
did
procedurally generate so much.
if you did it in like Alpha Centauri or something, and you could land on like moons and even asteroids or something like, I don't know, you could land on different things, and they can create their own world, and it would kind of eliminate a lot of. I know they're trying to create that sense of scale, but at what cost?
Well, that's it. I feel you almost lose the scale because it feels like you're loading into levels.
Yeah,
that's exactly what it
feels like you're jumping into levels.
I think the issue that I had, and Eddie, you kind of said it as well, is when you go to a place, I don't even mind the fast travel stuff. What I do mind is that, you go to a place, you're literally just outside the place. You walk into the place, you speak to the person, you walk, then you go back to your ship, and then you're off. Like, and a lot of the time, it wasn't even like a mission in the place you were getting it. It was like, oh, now I have to go to this other thing, so I have to click through menus to get this. Like, it was almost like if the writers of this game made this incredible game, but the technical limitations were only known after the writing took place.
Yeah.
Like, we can't make the game that we thought we were going to be able to make. I almost think that they would have. It was always the plan that they would be able to land on planets and it'd be very open, all this kind of stuff, and that really would be amazing. But no, it just then focuses on the real Bethesda-ness of quest lines.
To your point there, Ben, I think if you got me to write down what Bethesda games are all about, I would put number 1 as open world and then number 2 like fucking base building or something. And the way these mechanics work, even though you've got vast amount of space to go to all these fucking stars, all these planets and moons, and you go and you can land on any bit of it, fine. It's so open. If you look at it, it's not open. In fact, it's fucking linear because you're going, I need to go to this place. Click on A, click on there, land there. There's no exploration there. You're just jumping from one place. Do you know what's really pissed me off the other week was when I went to one place and I went, oh, fuck, I didn't pick up enough, iron, let's say. And I remember, like, in Fallout 4, when this used to happen to me, I used to go, fuck, I'm going to have to now go back to the city and I might encounter people on the way. I might die. I might lose something. Oh, I'm so angry that I didn't do that. And I went, oh, wait, this is Starfield. Pause, go back to base, pick up iron, go back. No fucking dramas whatsoever. And it's just a linear game. You're just going down a very fucking narrow corridor to just... And to your point, Pete, yes, for a start, you don't need all these planets. You don't need all these moons. Just put more resources on other people's moons. And I'm going to go as far to say I would sacrifice everything apart from one star system to have the ability to be able to just take off land. Just having the freedom, I would sacrifice everything. I would go down to 4 fucking planets if it meant that.
Oh, 100%. If they were like massive and they were their own worlds.
Yeah.
Absolutely, you'd have just a couple of planets, like 3 planets or something. That would be insane. Like retrospectively, but I genuinely believe that they had everything planned and the story was all laid out and everything was written, and then the limitations came in. Yeah. Remember, this game is 30 frames a second. That is a big deal these days, that it's only 30 frames. Like, if that limitation has taken place, all the other things like the loading screens and all that kind of stuff, there was no room for maneuver.
No.
As far as I'm concerned. Like, they didn't have the time an inclination and money to be spending to make it.
And it's why, Ben, this rant, you know me, I like to go hell to leather. This rant is not an angry rant because I don't know who to be angry with. Because I can't be angry at Bethesda. I do not think it's their fault.
Their marketing? Is it their marketing, though?
You're not mad. You're just
no, because they didn't fuck up on the marketing. Really, they didn't say like a fucking No Man's Sky. You know, where you can do all this. You know, no,
but they did. They did lead us to believe a little bit something different. I think.
Did Cyberpunk not do the same thing?
Fuck me, yes.
Your favourite game in the world, man.
Today.
Right.
Compared to Cyberpunk today. But this is Pete, a good point though. Good point. Cyberpunk, they went away and they worked on the game and pretty much they overhauled some things, but it's the same game, but it just now works and it's brilliant. They cannot make this game. Like, they can't do anything that fundamentally moves the needle for me.
Because because I don't think the technology is there to do it.
No, it's like it is what it is. The game is what it is. That travel system is the same. The quest building is exactly the same. It doesn't matter if you add in a hardcore mode or this, that, and the other. For me, that is the base game is still fundamentally lacking.
Do you know what would be quite interesting? Sorry, Pete. Let me just quickly round off my points. I noticed when I was doing some shipbuilding shit and I kept on like just jumping from... Oh no, it was outpost building. I was jumping from star system to star system to try and find like resources of different planets and whatnot. And I did find myself coming across a lot of incidents where it's like, oh, can you come and help us here? Can you come help us here? So hear me out here. I looked into this a while back. Bethesda bring out the hardcore mode of the game a few months into the game release. Now that obviously incorporates for instance food and drink and also it gets rid of fast traveling and it also means you only save upon sleeping. I am going to come back. I'm going to put this game down. If I'm going to be totally honest, I'm going to put it down. I'm going to stop playing it. And I am going to if they bring out a hardcore mode now where it is obviously all the food, drink, saving, and you can only, you have to travel back to your ship, then you have to go into orbit. I think I'll go to one of two ways. There's a very likely possibility that I fucking hate the extra steps that I have to take. However, the fact that I'll be forced into those scenarios where someone's like, oh, can you come help us? Or, oh, we're a pirate ship. That might actually bring it back a little bit. That might make me go, this game does have a little bit of adventure, a bit of worry. So I'm going to come back to it. Oh God, imagine! Oh God, if this is going to be devastating. If they bring out the hardcore mode and they don't change any of the fast traveling stuff, then that will be me not playing Starfield anymore, I think.
Fair enough. Yeah, I can see that. I mean, I think I'm still the most positive about this game, to be honest.
Yeah,
Pete, I'm going to put it in my game of the year. I'm going to put it in my game of the year, and I'm going to bring it there, knowing that it's not going to do well. But I'm going to bring it because I've had so much fun with certain aspects of this game. So I even though I've played a lot of other better games, like where I've been happier, I'm still so happy with this game. I'm still loving it. As I said at the beginning, I still rate it an 8 out of 10. I just wanted it to be a 10.
Yeah,
that's the thing. Like, I played 65 hours of this game.
Yes.
Yeah.
And for, there was a large proportion of that, like 30 odd hours, I really fucking loved it. Mm-hmm. It's just the first 10 and the last 20 I thought were pretty bad.
Half your time, yeah.
Half my time was pretty bad, yeah. I don't know, it's a game of two halves.
Look, all I can say is get a minigun, fly around on a low grade place. You'll see what this game should be. It's so much fun. But no, that was actually brilliant. No, I can't deny it.
Is there an ability in Cyberpunk that slows down time?
Yes.
Yes.
It's incredible.
Oh shit.
It's insane.
So I'll let you know now.
It's insane.
A lot of my enjoyment is finding that ability in Starfield. I mean, I know there's a drug and shit, but fuck me, do I enjoy that combat? And you know what? When I've been watching all this Starfield, Cyberpunk stuff, I've been going, oh, if there's a slowdown ability.
So Eddie, it's the main cyberware in the anime.
Yes.
Like that's the main kind of deck, cyber deck, and the cyber deck that I get is the
Sandy.
The Sandy that slows down time, and
I'm
mine
very
is like
excited.
mine's tier 5. It slows down time 80% for like 8 seconds.
And
It's
Eddie, if you get that one and the Kerenzikov,
Yeah.
you can also still perform aiming and the
Yes.
rest while sliding, dodging, and dashing. So
Yeah,
it's like you basically just become Matrix.
you could just sprint. Yeah, you are matrixing around people. Like that is the whole
What
point of
a
it. But that
delight.
is what it's designed for. Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah, it's fantastic. Yeah, I mean, this is the thing. I suppose all I was going to say was I think the other bit for me is you do get a lot of the old school Bethesda vibe if you fully explore a planet. But there's an awful lot of just random hopping about. Like, there's an awful lot of just bouncing around to get around, to find the mining facilities and the research places and the civilian outposts and all this.
Yeah.
It's just a bit, there's too much space in between them. It's almost, again, it almost feels like the scale they've gone for is a disadvantage instead of an advantage in everything.
Yeah. Agreed.
Whereas I think to compare to Cyberpunk, I think keeping it focused on one large city actually worked really well in comparison.
Well, Pete, I did kind of similar when I formed one of my main outposts, and I was really happy with it, and I got up to the watchtower and I just looked out, and I did see loads of points of interest, and I did go to them, and yes, Pete, I had that exact experience, the Bethesda experience where it was a science research thing and someone was in trouble, and then I went to another one and it was a pirate outpost, but it took, as you said, it took me fucking 10 minutes to bounce over there with my fucking pack. And I thought, God, in Empyrean, this would be me getting into my ship, flying over, and then having the awesome experience of fighting lots of people from a fucking ship with lasers. God, if they had that in it, it would have been a different game.
It's the fact that I can't fly low in my ship and blow stuff up on the surface as well.
Exactly.
Why have I got these gigantic rocket systems if I can't use them on the pirate base?
Yeah.
Look, what's the point? Anyway,
Absolutely. Why am I getting out to fucking greet them? That's not realistic.
I know. Shameful. Anyway, that's enough about that. I'm glad we're all kind of well-rounded. Ben gives it roughly a 7. Eddie roughly an 8.
Yeah.
I'd probably say I'm an 8.5 or so. Maybe a 9. So I think we've talked enough about Starfield, possibly.
Yeah, so you probably have.
Yeah.
Save that for Game of the Year,
Yeah,
exactly,
yeah.
And Eddie will text about sneaky ones that might do better than you think.
I can't wait for Game of the Year, because you know what I'm like at Game of the Year. I'm going to say so many good things about Starfield. I'm going to fucking... Talking about sucking phalluses, I am going mental on Game of the Year.
No one had mentioned that but you. But yes.
No one's
Because you two keep on banging on about it.
Good. Right, my God, this can be a longie, boys. We're on to the feature. We are on to the feature, which I realised I didn't even set up at the beginning, and I should have done. But we got distracted.
You didn't even say, you didn't do your normal thing of like, we're going to do the news, the new release.
No,
you didn't say
no,
any of
I
that.
didn't
What was
say
that? Was that a Pete impression? Why is Pete so sad in your eyes?
No, that's just how Ben presents when it's him doing it. Anyway.
That is very cutting.
Yeah, thank you. But this is kind of the thing, so this feature was sort of with Spider-Man 2 on the mind, and it's sort of with the fact that we did one similar to this for Baldur's Gate, didn't we?
Yeah, we did, yeah.
Yeah, and we decided, well, okay, what makes a good action game? Like, what are the constituent parts of a good action game? Mm-hmm. And that, I mean, at least when I was doing the research for this, that then becomes a really hazy thing, because action is in so many bloody games that you can... Is this an action or an RPG?
A lot of games are actually action games, aren't they? Like RPGs now.
Yeah, well,
a lot of them are a lot of action.
I even kind of have Hades in there with a little bit, Ben.
Of course. Of course.
And I even have Football Manager in there.
Okay.
Why not? Why not? It's tackling.
I want to see how... Yeah, okay, I get you. Right, the way Eddie plays it, yes, lots of words.
I play attacking football.
Okay, fair.
There you go.
Fair, my
Nailed
God.
it.
Yeah, and we do kind of come back to those, to the makeup, don't we? The parts. The mechanics of the game. The world, the story, the protagonist, the characters, the setting, these kind of parts. And I do actually, Ben, because Ben, obviously you suggested this, I do actually think it differs for me from RPGs, which I found interesting.
Yeah, I think that as well.
Yeah,
Yeah. So,
Agreed.
yeah, I mean, the funny bit is the examples I use are obviously going to be ones that we've spoken about before and have some RPG elements.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
But every
Yeah.
action game has fucking RPG elements now. I think it's tough to find one without. So
Exactly.
It does. Even the big Sony ones that are being released now, like God of War and Spider-Man, they do have their own like skill trees. Like, what do you classify as an RPG? Like, it is a role-playing game where you are upgrading certain elements of your character. It's just that it's very linear in terms of its upgrade mechanics and almost predetermined that everyone's going to end up in a similar kind of place, but just with a few choice things that they continually use. That's kind of what an action game does in comparison to an RPG.
Yes. And it must be said, the first example I'm going to bring to this, for me, of ones I remember fondly, is actually Assassin's Creed.
oh
Yeah.
But in particular, it's AC2, Brotherhood, and Revelations. And the major reason there is a very, very good world and a really good protagonist. Ezio is obviously, well, essentially the most famous of the Assassin's Creed protagonists. And it's for a really good reason, because he is an excellent character. They did Renaissance Italy really bloody well, to the point that I felt like I knew my way around Florence when I went there, because I played this game.
Yeah.
Like, I knew the turnings. That is crazy.
Yeah, I know games that do that, especially around
Yeah.
Tokyo. So many games do it there.
Exactly. They did similar with Venice as well when they came to Venice in Assassin's Creed. But at that point in these games as well, the combat did not feel old to you yet. And they were still refining it from Assassin's Creed 1 into 2. So, and the changes they made, you were like, this is so cool. Like, I am actually really enjoying the fighting, the mechanics. The ticking off the map still got a bit tiresome by the end, but the rest of it still felt fresh. And I think it was that combination, even if the mechanics get a bit repetitive towards the end, it was enough to make you go, I really like this game. This is a really good game.
It's interesting that you mentioned combinations, because the things that are important in an action game, from my perspective, story and world are so important, but only when the combat is kind of thoughtful and methodical. I don't really get on with games that have this massive juxtaposition of like the story and the cinematics, and then the combat just being like a bullet sponge or button bashy, or just
Bullet
it just
hell kind of style.
doesn't seem to mesh. I think that was the issue that I had with God of War. Like, God of War Ragnarok was this wonderful story-driven narrative, and it was told so well, and they've built a world, and then you're put in this game, and then I'm just like in this fucking arcadey button basher, and I couldn't really. That doesn't mesh with me, and I'm a bit. I'm really looking forward to Spider-Man 2 now. Actually, I am actually looking forward to it.
Okay, that's going to crash and burn when it comes out, but yeah, cool.
But that is an issue for me that I know, having played Miles Morales recently, I know that like that doesn't mesh for me, because it is a button basher. It's a bullet sponge. Like it's everything that I hate about the combat, but also it should be something that I like. But I think that's the problem that I have with it.
Okay.
yeah, I mean that's a good point. Like, you wouldn't be surprised that I would always say mechanics, but you would be surprised that I actually value more in action games, more like the setting and kind of the story than anything else. Because like when I accept that I'm playing an action game, then I go, well, look, Eddie, this game isn't about the mechanics. So I focus on, like, I think, Pete, you hit the nail on the head. Assassin's Creed is one of my 4 examples. The other main one that I bring to the table here are my Far Cry games. Like,
Oh god, yeah.
I love my Far Cry games, and I've realised with them, like, the thing that I remember the most isn't the mechanics at all. Like, don't get me wrong, I like the old, like, sneaking and then you kill someone, and there's also, you get the different abilities to, like, do certain takedowns and shit like that. But the story and the setting is everything that I remember. Like, the 4th one where it's, like, probably in Nepal or somewhere up in the Himalayas, and the the bad guy, whatever his name, something Min or whatever. Fuck me, like I was non-stop excited to play that. Same with the third one, Pete. You know that you played it, didn't you? With the Vass, was it or something?
Yeah.
Like that's what got me when I was at uni or whatever it was. I remember I was doing something. I like going like I can't wait to get home and play that. And it's not because of the mechanics, and it's definitely not because of the protagonist, but it's me going like, oh, I want to get home. I want to find out what happens next. I want to experience it some more.
Yeah, it's the world and the characters, isn't it? Like, it's so important in an action game. Like, I think of Last of Us. Like, that for me is the epitome of the world mixed with the characters, that you are actually interested and want to know what's happening with these individuals.
Yeah,
100%. And actually, Ben, I think that's a really interesting one, because I don't want to play The Last of Us, either of them. And it's not because I don't think they're phenomenal games. It's because we all know I'm really tired of fucking zombie apocalypse worlds.
Oh, yes, yeah.
So the setting and the world is the main reason. Does it mean I don't think that like Joel, Abby and the rest are not brilliant characters? No, they clearly are. And the game... Oh, yeah. And if you just started the game, he's still there. Anyway, he exists. He's Schrodinger's character now. So... If it's that bit of it has to be, I have to have the world and the characters as a thing, otherwise I'm not going to play it. Even if I think it's excellent, like those have to be in there.
But what won't cut it for me is just mechanics. So like Devil May Cry 5, I've got Devil May Cry 5. I've played a lot of it. I don't give a shit about it. That's why I don't care about Bayonetta. Like I don't care. I just don't care about it. But these are mechanically fantastic games, like absolutely brilliant, but for me it's just not there. But equally, if you don't have the like look at like Dark Souls and games like that, like I suppose you care about your protagonist. The story isn't quite there because you don't really understand it unless you do a lot of research, but the world is what tows you along.
Setting is amazing, nonetheless. That whole thing is still there, and I think this is true in most of the games. Like I put Red Dead in there as well, because I see that more of an action than an RPG, I'm honest. The first one, anyway.
Yeah, okay.
And that one, it is a really strong story, a good world, and good mechanics as a combo. I think massively sold it. Again, it is an excellent world to disappear into, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
It's amazing how big some of the worlds are actually in action games when you think about it. Elden Ring being another very good example of that.
Yeah, I've got that as one of my examples as the best,
Yeah, and it's... I think for me, actually, I'm going to have to say it's setting and mechanics as a whole. Because I then just went, Elden Ring, your main character is a complete blank slate, so it's not just protagonists. It's the overall setting, which includes the villains. Like, think of all the villains in Dark Souls generally, and then in Elden Ring, and their combination with the setting.
For me, I think it's the world and the characters as the main thing, but that has to be mixed with a mechanical like way of doing things that I can get on with, not just this I can't do arcadey, I don't think.
Well, the funny bit is, Ben, I get that, and it's why I stopped playing Hi-Fi Rush in the end, because actually the mechanics in that are really fun, but it gets super arcadey. It feels super arcadey after like 5-6 levels, which is a problem. So
I find this massively interesting, but me, the guy that shouts at you two about how mechanics are the most important thing over anything, I'm actually going to say, in all the action games that I play, I don't think mechanics are as important. Like honestly, the Assassin's Creed games, the Far Cry games, the Dynasty Warriors games, like a fucking rabbit can make the mechanics for a Dynasty Warriors game. Like, and what's amazing is they don't even fucking develop on those mechanics each game, which is incredible, really. Like, because they still charge 50 fucking quid each time. But the setting and the world and the story, in the sense of with the characters, as you said, gets me every time. And if it's good, I'll buy it and I'll play it and I'll fucking love it. And mechanics really do go out the window. Because it's just fucking button bashing.
So I'll see you that, and I'll raise you one game which this made me think of, Eddie, which you may remember. Ninja Gaiden?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Because I was there thinking, like, what game was there that mechanics alone pretty much kept me playing? And Ninja Gaiden was that for quite a while. Like, because they were brutally difficult to get right, but it was really fun when you pulled it off. It was amazingly fun when you pulled it off. And it made me also think, Ben, of games like Remnant, which I've obviously not played, but have wanted to. Where I was like, it's surely the gameplay loop in things like Remnant, not the setting that's the seller.
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say so, yeah.
Yeah, so this is why, like, I do think it's those two for me. It's the mechanics combined with the setting. But either one, if they're outstanding, can keep me hooked.
Yes. Yeah. I think it has to be a particular blend for me to get into it. But yeah, I think that's a good point.
Awesome. Right, well, considering we've actually already run pretty damn long, gentlemen, is there any more we'd like to add?
Oh, it's a 2-hour.
Yeah, it is. It's right up there.
Wrap it up, boys.
Yeah.
Pete's going to be angry.
Are you going to add more in, Eddie? No, then I'm fine.
I got 3 minutes to filibuster. Is that what the Americans call it?
Well, that 3 minutes is now over. So, Ben, do us the socials, buddy.
If you want to get in contact with us, you can email us, podcast@grumpygamers.co.uk, or you can tweet us at grumpygamerspod, as always. But also, we haven't said this for a while, but
That's it. Beef it up, Ben. Beef it up.
Yeah, we've got to make this like 2 hours 10 or something. But yes, if you want to leave us a review on like Spotify or anything like that, we've got a few of those. Yeah, that would be really helpful. I think that helps on the algorithms or whatever. Or just tell a mate, tell a friend. If you like the podcast, tell a friend.
Yeah.
Oh, look at this little setup. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. Like and subscribe, kids. Yes.
Oh,
we're
God,
right
Pete,
back in there.
You said you'd never do it. Here we are.
That's what that all felt like. But
It's taken us 154 episodes, and Peter said like and subscribe.
And even then, it was sarcastic. But that bombshell is, I think, the GG moment of the week.
GG.
GG.